So, hey Leon, welcome to the Kingdom Wealth podcast. Feel free to introduce yourself and what you do.
Absolutely. Hello, listeners. My name is Leon George. I am a marketing coach for female led business owners to really help them create a content strategy that doubles their online sales. I'm also a podcaster, so I have my own podcast, Master Marketing and Monetize, and I'm the owner of an online boutique. It is such a pleasure to be here.
Welcome. So, let's jump right into this because I'm super excited. Tell me a bit about your personal journey and what led you to be a marketing and business coach.
Absolutely. Now, I definitely didn't think that I would be a coach when I was growing up. I actually studied and went to school to become a lawyer. I got called to the bar. I became a lawyer. And it was such a huge pivotal moment for me. And at the same time, I didn't really feel the level of excitement that I thought I would have felt while finishing such a big or having a big accomplishment like this. And regardless of that, I continued to push on and I got my first real job, my first big girl job. And things were okay for a moment. And then I started to feel the same way I felt on the day of backhaul, almost as if something was missing or as if I just wasn't supposed to be doing this, right? And
Yeah.
it didn't make sense because at this time I felt like I was doing every single thing that people around me told me that I needed to do to be happy and to be successful, right? And I started to blame. So I say, you know what, it's probably the job, you know. I was facing a lot of racism as a young Black woman in corporate. I faced misogyny, dealing with men, unfair treatment, silencing, all these different things. So during that time, I just remember applying for jobs like crazy, right? I got a few interviews here and there, you know, and ultimately I just knew in my core that another job wasn't going to be the solution. And I ended up purchasing some self-help books because I was big into reading back then. And one of it was actually John by Steve Harvey. And one thing that it taught me was the importance of taking the leap if you want a life of abundance. And as I said before, Candice, like up to this point, I was about 25 years old back then. I had followed all the rules and done all the things. I went to school, I gotten a job, and I was still miserable, you know? So I started to embark
Yeah.
on a personal development journey. And I started to ask myself, like, Leon, what is the life that I want versus the life that people told me that I should have? What are my natural strengths? And what are the strengths that I possess currently, and how could I use those strengths to give me the life that I want? And I realized that upon doing those reflections, that I have always been really good at communicating, resonating with people, you know. So I really researched industries around communication, and I found out about the world of marketing, and I slowly made the time and monetary investments to actually learn how to market, learn how to sell. And then I decided that I was going to launch my own business and step out as an entrepreneur. You know, since making that decision in late 2019, but officially in 2020, I've worked with so many women and men, but mostly women from Trinidad and Tobago, our country, throughout the region, the Caribbean, even internationally, United States, United Kingdom, India, etc. You know, so that's my journey of how I became a marketing coach. And that's what led me to being here on this podcast today.
What an amazing story. So today you're going to teach people how to grow their income with a coaching business. Why coaching?
Such a good question. You know, what people may not know about me is that I have tried and tested a lot of business models, you know, meaning I have launched other types of businesses before launching a coaching business. And even now, I currently have an online boutique, right? And the reason why, when people ask me, like, hey, I want to grow my income, I'm thinking about launching a business, the reason why I suggest coaching is because of one simple reason: no startup cost, very little to non-startup costs. You probably already have the money right now. You know, I actually started my own marketing agency, my own coaching business as a marketing coach by purchasing a 15 US dollars course online. And I purchased that course while I was still in my job. You know, I used Google and I used YouTube and I started to build the skill set. All right. So compared to like a product-based business, there is no upfront cost. When you decide you want to launch a product-based business, you have to factor in stock. You may have to factor in websites because a lot of product-based businesses have plenty options and you don't want to be back and forth with colors, sizes, all these different things, right? So the number one reasons why I would recommend persons grow their income with a coaching business is because you get to use what it is God already gave you. Right now, as
Yep.
is, there is something that you are really, really good at, right? Maybe people ask you for advice on this topic. Maybe people compliment you about this regularly. Or maybe you know you're really good at it and you want to be even better. I'm sure something came to mind as I said that, those last sentences, right? And to start a coaching business, all you need is a skill, being really good at something. You need an offer, something that you can package so people can buy, and you need a plan to market and execute it. That is it. You can do that. You can start your coaching business on part-time hours. You can do it virtually at your own home, right? And you can do this in a clean and simple way to grow your income. So that's why I would always recommend start a coaching business, start a teaching or consulting type of business.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. What do you think are the misconception with a coaching business, especially in the Caribbean?
Such a good question. As I mentioned, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, so I work with a lot of people throughout the Caribbean, actually. And I think there's two main misconceptions when I think about it. The first one is that the belief that no one will pay for coaching, right? And I used to believe this too. So if this is your belief, I totally feel you. I used to believe that people would only pay for something if it's tangible, right? And again, this just goes back to like our upbringing, right? As
Yeah.
especially as in the Caribbean, that goes back to our upbringing, right? We always believe we need to give something to get something, and it needs to be something tangible, right? And as a result of that thought, like I started off with social media management, and I was like, I'm going to give people content and have these deliverables of this post and this that because that is something people will pay for, you know. And at the same time, I want to point out like how skewed that line of thinking is, right? Because think about something that you pay for that may not be a tangible result. All right. Think about that. And so many things could come to mind. Right. People would actually pay to get a result that coaching provides. And it's on you now as a coach to get clear on what is it that your coaching can do to improve someone else's life. So that's the main misconception that I think a lot of people have, that coaching businesses and the model is not going to be successful because you're not giving something. But when you're coaching people, you are giving people a result that's may like last them a lifetime. Right? So you're giving them something even better than something tangible. Because whatever is in the tangible tends to disintegrate. It tends
Yep.
to get lesser. It tends to fade away. Anything in the tangible tends to fade away. You
Or
know,
you grow
so
out of it.
you grow out of it. You like it back then 6 months later, you don't like it anymore. Think about how much time you buy a top, and then a year later, you're like, I really thought this was cute. Like, what the hell? You know, or you buy lipstick and you try it on in the store and you loved it. And then you came home and you're like, this
Nope.
does not go in my complexion, right? So you grow out of the tangible, but coaching lasts a lifetime. So that to me is like one of the bigger misconceptions. And another one, Candice, and this falls in both of our garden, right? As in, we're on the good side of this. A lot of people believe that you need to either coach on something like business or money to be successful.
Yeah.
Because people call me a business coach because I teach you how to market your business. You're a finance coach, you're a money coach. And for some reason, these two industries tend to be the most popular industries in the coaching industry, right? So so it's very funny how both of us are like on that, right? But what I
Yeah.
would say is that if you're considering starting a coaching business, you can literally coach people on anything. I've worked with people who coach persons on spirituality. I've worked with people who coach people on their mindset, relationship. Relationship is a big one. People pay you a lot of money to be coached on relationships. Traveling. There's people who want to know how to start traveling, how to make that a part of their lifestyle. Weight loss. People want to actually get coached, not being a trainer. That's a different thing, right? People want to get coached on their weight loss journey. You know that, right?
Journey. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Identity. Maybe you're going through a transition in life. There's coaches that actually coach you as you make a transition. Maybe you went from middle management to upper management. Maybe you went from corporate to entrepreneurship. Maybe you went from married to divorce. Whatever is the transition you're making in your life, there's a coach that's out there and willing to help you. organization. A lot of people don't know how to actually set goals, how to plan, and how to
Yeah.
execute. There's a coach that can help you on that. Career, job, trauma. People will coach you on your trauma, and the list goes
Yep.
on and on. So I feel like that's the next big misconception. Like you have to coach on money or business, but in reality, once you have a skill, someone will be willing to pay for almost anything.
Anything. Exactly. And long as you don't know, there's somebody out there who knows. And what I think about coaching, it's like building blocks. Like you're building block upon block, and you're going to be able to use everything and become stronger. And I remember as you were speaking, the analogy that you gave me about burning down the house and building it back up. If you don't know
Yes,
how to build that house back up, but you have little, okay, I want to be wealthy and I want to start a business, but you don't know how to do that. A coach is the perfect way to start because that person has already done it and giving you the cheat code
100%,
and making that process easier for you,
100%.
right? So,
Yes.
how would you say that coaching has helped you improve your lifestyle financially?
Woo. This is a good one. This is a good one. It is the Kingdom Wealth podcast after all. So let's talk about money. So, well, for starters, I make more money now as a marketing coach than I did as a lawyer. And a lot of people might be like, wait, what?
Come on.
Come on. Like I left the prestigious legal industry where it is probably one of the top ranking professions that everybody wants their daughter or their son to become, right? I became it and I realized, this system is not for me. You telling me I need to wait 5 to 6 years to get a pay increase? Like, that's not making sense. Or I have to hope another job accepts me and that they have a good starting salary. Like, that's not making sense. As a
I hear
marketing,
freedom.
and my freedom too, right? Working 8, 10, 12 hour days, like, hell no. Every single day, like, hell no. So, in terms of like lifestyle financially, I make more and I work on my own terms. If I want to take a day throughout the week to celebrate my friend's birthday that I did last week, I'm going to do it. And I don't need to
Yeah.
consult with anyone. I don't need to fill out no PTO form. I don't need to do, and I don't need to lie and say I'm sick. I'm sick. No, I'm on living my best life on a Wednesday.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. What I heard was CEO. And
Oh, and that
every,
is it.
yes, CEO. And the potential for everyone being a CEO is possible, but you have to first believe that you can do it. And again, remembering something that you told me, make steps in the direction until you cannot turn back.
Make steps in the direction until 100%. And looking back, that's exactly what I did when I decided I wanted to be a coach. I was like, okay, what are these steps and how could I take enough steps that when I get scared, it's already too late. I already posted it on my social media. I already changed my bio. It's already too late. Like I get to be scared, go through the emotions for the day, for the hour. And then tomorrow I'm like, okay, we're doing this. And I
Yep.
think like that's the beauty of a coaching business. Like the opportunities are endless. I have different types of clients. I receive different type of payments from different offers outside of the money too. Like I know this podcast is largely about money and building wealth. Like I think the fact also that I am a completely different person compared to when I worked in corporate, because I feel like the best part about being a coach is that you're forced to grow mentally, physically, and so many other ways so that you can hold space to be present with someone else. Like if you're going
Yeah.
to the coaching industry, you need to understand that to speak plainly, like you need to clean up your own stuff before you help people with their stuff. So if you're a finance coach, you need to clean up your own thoughts about your own money before you actually put yourself out there to help people with money. My
Yep.
mental health, yeah. You agree?
Yep. I totally agree.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a big magnifying glass on yourself, right? And on your
Yeah.
thoughts. And what I would say is that my mental health is in a really good place. Like I exercise 4 times a week now. I have enough money to order food delivery service when I want it. I get to be present with my friends. I get to hang out with family members. I get to plan trips that I want to go to, not have to worry about taking time off. I get to do what I love. And I feel like when you're in a place where you're doing what you love, it doesn't get better than this and the money will come. Because you're already radiating energy of I'm doing what I love, the money will
Yes. Yes. And I tell people to continue doing it because every time you get the evidence, it gives you the confidence to make a step forward in the
come.
direction.
Oh, I feel like someone needed to hear this again. I feel like you need to say that last line again. I feel like someone needed to hear this.
So what I say is continue doing what you're doing until you get the evidence, and that evidence will give you the confidence to continue to make the next step forward.
Yes, 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 100%,
Yep,
100%. So, yeah.
yep.
So
So
that's how
what are
being,
some, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say that's how being a coach really impacted my life financially.
Yeah, yep. And I would say the same. Candice now and Candice pre-COVID is a
Mm.
completely different woman, bold, confident, knows what she wants, is going for it and showing up for it. Even though sometimes it may, the the situations, the circumstances, the things that are in front of you right now may not be what you want or what you feel you need, but using what you have right now and developing and creating that tomorrow happens right now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So take the leap, believe in yourself. You
100%.
got this. And there, and I heard someone I follow, Patrice Washington, she said, there's somebody who is a one and you may be a five, and you can help that person who is a one reach to five. And as you grow, you can take those person and those different levels of journey. You're growing as a coach and you're helping and serving other people to grow as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like you get to start where you're at. And I feel like this
Yeah.
is a big one because people always feel like, and I guess it's very similar with money as well and financial coaching. Like people feel like they need to be, it's like if you're kind of people who clean up for the cleaners and they're like, I hire a cleaner, but I'm gonna clean my house because I want them to see a clean house. You know,
Yes.
so they may come to you with their money situation. They're like, but I'm going to probably try to put a little sum in saving so she don't see that I have $0 in saving. Or they come with me with a business idea and they're like, yeah, but I'm going to research a course. I'm going to do this course and finish out this marketing program before I come to the marketing coach. So at least I have something. And it's like,
Something. Yeah.
come with what you have, come with where you're at right now, because you as you are right now is enough.
Exactly. You sound like you're preaching there because there's a script. You come as you are.
Come as you are.
So, yes, what are some steps someone can take to launch their own coaching business?
Yeah, so I think like if you want to launch your own coaching business, which I'm guessing you do because you're tuning into this podcast episode, I think the first step is first and foremost getting clear on why you want to launch your coaching business. Yes, I know you want to grow your income. You listen to the Kingdom Wealth podcast. You listen to this podcast episode specifically all about growing your income, but you need to also say, okay, yes, money and this. You know, it gets to be both. If you're only doing
Yeah,
something for the purpose of gaining money, it's going to dwindle or dwindle easily. Or, and this is a big one, you see it as a side hustle. And if you see your business as a side hustle, you'll only be making side hustle money. Meaning you're
ma'am.
only going to be making an extra 1,000 here, extra
Say that
500
again.
here. If you see your business as a side hustle, you're going to be making side hustle money. So you need to
Uh,
think deeper than I just want to launch this coaching business so that I can make some money. It needs to go a bit deeper than that. You need to say,
yeah,
I want it so I can make some money and I want to serve this
yeah,
purpose and I want to help these people and I want to see this change in the world and I want to create this movement, right? So it can't just be about money because the days when the money don't come, guess what? You're going to shut down and you're going to decide that, you know what,
exactly.
I am done with this and I'm going to go on to the next side hustle. But when your
Yeah,
why is so deeply rooted, then guess what? Even in days where you're not seeing the tangible money, you are connected to your why and you're so deep that you are able to get up the next morning and put in work in your coaching business.
exactly. You said it so wonderfully. And I deal with money and finances, and I tell people when you're starting a business, it's do not focus on the money, focus on the serving. What is the problem that you want to solve for
Yeah,
somebody else? The money will come.
the money will come.
Long as you have that passion and that drive, and that person gets to see your desire and your passion to help them. Listen to me. The money is going to come, and it's going to come in such a magnitude you and all will not believe. Oh, this me? Yes, just focus on serving, building yourself, building your knowledge, and giving the best that you got. There's somebody outside there for you.
100%.
Right?
100%. So yeah, that's the first step. Like you need to think deeper than the money in terms of why you want to launch your business. You also want to get clear on what you're good at and who you want to help. This is the easy part. Because right now there's something that you're good at, whether you know it or whether people tell you about it. And you just get to decide that with this gift, these are the people that I want to help. This is easy. You can do this in literally 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Next is actually find a very simple way to market your coaching business. And a shameless plug, just follow me on Instagram because I actually share really great marketing strategies for coaches, right? But you want to think about how can I connect with the people that I want to help? And this is where marketing comes in play, right? In 2023 and beyond, whichever year you're listening to this episode, marketing is a must. All right.
Yep.
Then you actually get to decide what is the actual service or what is the actual thing that you're going to package and sell. Example, are you going to sell a one-to-one coaching program, etc. This too is easy. You can figure this out in literally 20 to 30 minutes. And the final and most important step is you need to just take action, launch your business, and trust that you have what it takes to figure it out, or that with time, your business will tell you what it is you need. And this is so, so, so important. Notice I didn't say you need to get a logo. Notice I didn't say you need to get a website. Notice I didn't say you need to have a podcast. Notice I did not say these things. I didn't say you need to start a YouTube channel, right? I did not say these things, right? Because these things are simply supplemental, right? These things that I mentioned here on this episode, those are the primary things if you want to get started with your business. With time, your business will tell you exactly what it needs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're telling someone to start their coaching business, and I want you to speak to the person who's struggling with doubt. They know they have the knowledge and the wisdom to serve and help people, but they have that doubt and that fear showing up, holding them back. What would you say to them to motivate them to take that leap?
Yeah. While you're speaking, I'm thinking about a few group of people who come to mind. If you're somebody who's struggling with doubt, it could be because you're a perfectionist, so you want everything to line up perfectly. It could be because you're an avid overthinker, so you're like, what would happen if, what would happen if, what would happen if, right? And it could simply be because you are fearful and you have not exercised the muscle of taking massive action. And that was me. Because as I said, up until 25 years old, I never took any major risk. I just kind of colored in between the lines and followed the rules, right? And a question that someone asked me the other day, or when I was going through a really tough time, and this stuck with me to this day, is what's the alternative? Is the alternative that you stay in a job that's barely paying you what you're worth or enough to cover your bills? Is it that you wait for 5, 10 years with the hope of a promotion and hope they don't bring in somebody in that same spot that you've been waiting for a promotion for? Is it that you're going to continue to cut back expenses till you can't cut back no more? Right? You saved all you could save, you budget all you could budget, right? And is it that you're willing to live a life where you just feel stuck and you live in resentment and regret? Right. And I'm not saying this to really actually instill fear into you. I'm saying this because I have seen it happen. I have
Yeah.
seen what happens when people don't take massive action in their life. And then their 20s become their 30s, become their 40s, become their 50s, and become their 60s, and they're just living the same decade over and over and
One
over.
over. Yep.
And that's not life. That's not the life that God intended for his children. Right? And I know if you're here listening to this podcast, like you want to make a difference. Maybe you want to make a difference in your finances. You want to make a difference ultimately in your life because the money that you do have and how well you manage your money kind of just trickles down into how you spend your life, right, Candice?
Yeah.
Right? So, like a poorly managed money is going to result in a poorly managed life. Like that's the truth, you know? And you want to make more money, basically to have more money to spend on yourself, maybe repay some debts, and even save, right? You want to do some big things. So you need to do something different.
Yep.
Doubt can exist and you can still take action with doubt. You know, I've done it so many times. I've
I've
been
done it.
doubtful and I've still taken action with the doubt. I've been fearful and I've still taken action with the fear. I've been a perfectionist and I've still taken imperfect action. I've been an overthinker and I've still shut down my thoughts and be like, yeah, this could go wrong, but I'm gonna do it. You know, you need
Yep.
to actually decide that your dream life is possible, and you need to be willing to take radical action, even with the doubt. And this is the most important thing I'm going to say. It doesn't matter if you're successful with the business or if you're not. What matters is that you're brave enough to try, that you're brave enough to do something different. I know that when I'm in my 50s, 60s, 70s, and I'm retired, I'm out, I can literally look back at my life and say, you know what? Every time I had an inkling to do something, I did it. Every
Yeah.
time I felt that urge, there's no what if, there's no dreams that died once I die, Anything that I genuinely had an inkling to do, I set up and I make a plan to actually do it. There's no regret over here, there's no resent. Even if it went poorly, even if it went poorly, Candace, I'm like, yeah, well, I did it. I learned a lesson. I went
And
to
we know some things go poorly.
it. But again, that's not the point. The point is
Yeah.
you want to flex your muscle of taking action because it gets easier with time.
Yeah. And I love how you use it like flex your muscle, exercise your muscle. And I want to add this to it. Sometimes we need to change our perspective on how we see things. A fail is not a fail, it's actually a lesson because every time you fail, you learn something,
Yeah.
and that will help you make your business better. Doubt and fear will always be there. What I would advise you to do is get as much positive things in your mind. Get in community, get a mentor, get a coach to help nurture the soil of your mind so that when you plant a seed, you sure that seed will shoot out. And
Yeah.
the more you water it with positivity, is the bigger that tree will grow. And that tree will soon bear fruit.
Mm,
And that fruit will be many and be able to spread further out. And then here's how great this is. Those fruits are going into someone's hands
mm,
and they might plant some of those seeds and grow fruits. So sometimes you're sitting one place helping one person, and that person can go to help many. So you have also helped many people. So sitting down with doubt and fear is holding you back from the people who are attached to you.
yes, ma'am. That was a word for somebody. Yes, ma'am. That was a
So
word for somebody.
yes, I felt it all in my pores when it came to my mind. So this is the Kingdom Wealth podcast. So we'd love to wrap up by asking you, what is one spiritual saying or Bible verse that you love or resonate deeply with and why?
Now, that's such a good question. And I want to keep on theme with what you said because this week I was actually going through my Bible app, which I go through daily, and there was a scripture that really resonated with me this week because I feel like my favorite scripture kind of changes based on the mood I'm in and based on what I'm needing, right?
Yes.
And it was Second Corinthians, right? 9:6 in the King James Version, and it said, "But I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap bountifully." And we must be in alignment because you were now speaking about, seeds and ripple effect and all these different things. And I think that as you go on and with your daily activities, whether you're doing it right now while you're listening to the podcast, or maybe it's the start of a day and you're now going about your activities for the week. Think about what seeds are you planting currently in this week, in this day, that can help you 5 or even 10 years from now. What seeds are you planting with your finances? What seeds are you planting with your career? What seeds are you planting with your relationships? What seeds are you planting with your overall lifestyle? Because if you plant a little, you'll get a little 5 to 10 years from now. All right. But
Yeah.
if you decide that you're going to plant and you're going to sow bountifully, then give yourself 3, 5 years max. You're going to look back and you're going to be so damn proud of yourself. All right. So I feel like this resonates with me a lot as I'm in a season of planting seeds. I feel like we're always planting seeds, right? But I feel like I'm in a
Yeah.
season of planting seeds. And when I saw that, I was just like, I took a mental note because I was like, yes, 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 yes. You need to be willing to plant seeds as much as you can, right?
Yeah.
Because life is long and you're going to see it. You're going to see the results of it. But you need to be willing to keep planting it.
Yeah. And I want to add a little to that as well. You have, even if you're planting the seed, you have to remember the soil is where the nutrients is for that seed. So you have to be mindful of your mindset because you can have a mindset that can stifle your seeds. So again, going back to nurturing that mindset so that when you do plant those seeds, those many seeds that will come, because I tell everyone that you have a purpose. A purpose is attached to your life, even though you may not know what it is. But if you plant all the seeds that come to your mind, and eventually you'll figure out which tree you are, right?
Yeah,
And just
as you sorry to
yes,
interrupt.
go ahead.
As you said that, Candice, like what I thought is that your thoughts influence your actions. So planting seed is
Yes,
an action. But if it's grounded in the wrong thoughts, it's not going to bear the fruit you want it to bear.
correct,
So it's always a direct correlation between thoughts and actions. Thoughts, feelings
correct.
influence your actions, right? So the action is planting the seeds, but like what are the thoughts and feeling that is influencing the action? Because you need to take the right type of
Yes.
action based on the right type of thoughts.
Right, exactly. You said it perfectly. So, Leon, I just want to say thank you so much for being a guest on the Kingdom Wealth podcast. Please tell the listeners how they can connect with you and learn more from you.
Absolutely. I can't believe our time is over already. So if you'd love to enter into my world, you can find me on all social media platforms at Leon George, Leeon George. I also have a website, leongeorge.com, and I am most responsive via Instagram at Leon George. So if you want to send me a message, talk about this podcast, tag me when you're sharing this podcast, etc., definitely it's at Leon George on Instagram.
Leon, thank you again for being a guest. It was amazing. I enjoyed this conversation, and you came and you preached the house down.
Thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure.